I will accept that. But anyway, my phone not working. I mean, my computer is not working. And let me see. What else is not going on? It's not acting right. Okay. All right. Well, you all can you have to look at my pictures for tonight. But I want to thank you all again for showing up on another cold Monday night.
Yes, ma'am.
Because there is some good news that we all go through and we all come out on the other side. We just have to hang on in there. And that's what we're doing. We're hanging on in there. And again, I appreciate you all for tuning in. You could have been doing anything, but you decided to come and sit in with us. So I'm going to close my mouth and I'm going to pass it on to Akili because he is presenting for us tonight. Thank you, Akili.
Thank you, and you're welcome. And we're all in this. I'm just throwing it on me now. But, you know, actually, I want to first thank everyone for tuning in. I hope everyone had a great weekend, safe and productive weekend. I hope your week is off to an absolutely magnificent start. I said, I'm glad you are tuned in. I'm glad you thought enough to take the time, energy, and effort to meet us here tonight to talk about the topic that absolutely needs to be discussed. I actually had a presentation I was going to do, but you know, I'm like my sister. I'm not, you know, tech savvy. I'm just like, you know, I'm a novice at that. So hopefully I work out the kinks next week and have that ready to go. But she asked me for a topic, and so I came with the topic. And tonight's topic is loving yourself through the journey. Isn't that right, Dolores? That's what I said. Loving yourself through the journey.
Yeah, that's what you said.
And by that I mean, you know, this journey that we're on, you know, sometimes we get, it's a hard journey. You know, it's hard enough as it is without us at times getting so down and so hard on ourselves. You know, like I always say, we pour out into everybody else, but our cup is empty. And then we get to a point where sometimes we let self-doubt creep in. We let self-loathing creep in. And we get to the point where we think, you know, that we're not worthy of being loved. We're not worthy of being happy. We're not worthy of, you know, good energy, of good people coming our way, good people, good friends being in our life. A lot of times we get to that point where we're so down and we're in such a dark place we think the world hates us. And so we start to hate ourselves, and we start to let that hate creep into ourselves. And that's how you find people struggling with mental health and mental illness. That's how you oftentimes find them on that bridge. You know, when they think that, you know what, hey, you know, no one loves me, so why should I love myself? And that's how you can go from 0 to 100 really, really quickly when you feel like, man, you know, I just got so much going on. Nobody loves me. And if no one loves me, why should I love myself? And that's, like I said, that's when you start having you can have those suicidal thoughts that creep in, you know, like, hey, so what? If I don't wake up tomorrow, you know, no one will care. No one will miss me. No one loves me. You know, I'm better off not being here. I'm better off not in people's life, you know, and that's how, especially around, you know, the holiday times. Like I said, season of depression is real when people are so happy and, you know, everybody is, you know, on the go. It's just, you know, busy and just everybody's ripping and running here and there and the hustle and bustle of the holiday season. And some people can sit at home and just be like, with so much joy and happiness around them, they could be sitting in a dark space, in a dark place, and really feeling like, you know, no one loves me. And if no one loves me, then what's the point of being here? What's the point of waking up every day, every morning, fighting? What's the point of waking up trying to put a smile on my face? What's the point of waking up fighting, trying to be happy, trying to, you know, just exist in a place that's not mired in darkness and just despair? and a place that I can find some sanity, some peace, some quiet, some good vibration, some good energy. And that's when we get to that point to where we stop loving ourselves, that's when we start to feel like, I don't deserve to be helped. I don't deserve to be happy. That's why it's absolutely, absolutely imperative that we understand that we are worth loving. We are loved. And like I always say, if there's 10 people in a crowd, if 8 people, despise you or don't like you, then all it takes is 2. Just concentrate on those 2 that like you, that want you around, that, like, your energy and like what you bring, that like you making us, brighten up their day, bringing a smile to their face. Don't focus on those, focus on those 2. And when you're on a journey with mental health and mental illness, it's absolutely imperative that you, not that you think, that I am loved and I am worthy of loving. And I can love myself through the journey. The journey is hard. It's an arduous journey. It's filled with peaks and valleys. It's filled with dark days. It's filled with sunny days also. It's filled with despair, but it's filled with joy and laughter. It's filled with tears, but it's filled with smiles. And we have to get to a point where we say, you know what, no matter what I'm going through, I am worthy to be loved because I love myself. If the world hates me, then it's absolutely a must that I love myself. And we have to get to a point to where we got so much going on till we sit back and we say, you know what? I love me. I'm not perfect. I might, talk with a little ebonics. I might have an attitude, or I might sometimes, my energy is not right. I might be negative sometimes, or, but I still, at the end of the day, I love me. And I love me enough to where if no one loves me, that's okay, because I have enough self-love. Because the journey is hard. Like I said, the journey is hard enough as it is. But when you're on that journey and you don't love yourself, because believe it or not, y'all, it's people out there who think that, they shouldn't exist. It's people out there who think that, hey, the world would be better off without me. People would be happier if I was not in their life, if I was not bringing my strife and my stress and my drama and my bad karma to them. There's people absolutely think that. There's people who not only think that, but they've been thinking it so long, it's people who believe that. And you have to get to a point, like I said, it's imperative, it's a must that we get to a space and place that where we say, yeah, it's hard. I'm tired of fighting. I'm tired of being depressed. I'm tired of being stressed. But I love myself. And if you love yourself, that's all you need. Love of yourself is enough for you to want to get up every day and continue this journey, continue your fight, continue your battle. Because if no one loves me, I know one person that does, and that's me. So I'm going to fight for me. I'm going to fight for myself because I love myself through the journey, in spite of what I'm going through. Anybody add something?
Akili, when you said that, I never thought about it in that manner because we always look for others to love us. We don't look inward. And I appreciate the topic because it does hit home that we look for love in, the old song, in all the wrong places. But looking to yourself and at yourself and loving yourself first should be the first thing. But oftentimes we don't think like that. We're looking for our mate to love us. And I remember years ago, Tony said, I can't make you happy. And I looked at him like he was crazy. What you mean you can't make me happy? He said, you have to make yourself happy. And it finally sinked in what he was saying. And I understand what he was saying. And yeah, it starts with us. We can't look outside our front door before we look at ourselves because we just, and sometimes we're creatures of habit. We're always looking for others to justify us or give meaning to our life when we should come to the table with that ourselves. So that's my 2 cents. Like Chuck, that's my 2 cents. You on mute.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And like I said, when we're dealing with mental health and mental issues, we can have this thought in our mind that no one loves us. And of course, we know that's not true, but the mind is a powerful weapon. It's a powerful tool. We can we can convince ourselves that no one loves us. We got family. No, but they don't love us. They don't love me. They don't care about me. We have kids. We can convince ourselves that, my kids are supposed to love me, but do they really, really love me in the sense that where, hey, they're concerned about me. They're concerned about my journey and my struggle and my strife. And we can convince ourselves that that's how you have people who have children and they get to that place where they, suicide is the number one option instead of the last option. It's the first option because they literally, and I've had, people who a conversation with people who had those thoughts and they're like, I just didn't think anyone loved me. I'm like, what about your children? I didn't think they loved me. I mean, I know they're my kids and I know they love me, but I just didn't think they loved me. I'm like, your job, and I didn't think they loved me, And so that's why I say we can convince ourselves in our mind because we're going through, depression. That's why I say depression is really, really, that's really something, that once it gets a hold of you, it takes your mind, it controls your mind, and it can have you think in ways that you never thought. You never would have thought, well, my kids don't love me. But that's why depression is the beast that it is. That's why it takes over, and rational thought process is no longer an option because you're thinking irrationally. Okay, well, I got kids, well, my kids don't love me. But we know we do, but that depression and depressive state is so just, it's such a mountain that we think and we convince ourselves that, hey, my kids don't love me. My wife doesn't love me. My husband doesn't love me. So people would be better off if I wasn't here. And when you think that, it's hard, y'all, to get that out of your mind. Like I said, I've known, I think maybe 3 or 4 people in my lifetime that I was, people not that I know of, people that I knew that committed suicide. And I often kick myself because I'm like, I talked about football with them. I talked about basketball with them. We joked. But if I would have just said, hey, brother, I love you, instead of talking about the superficial things that most guys, that we're supposed to talk about, what if I had just taken one moment and say, hey, well, brother, are you okay? How you doing? I love you. I often ask myself, would that have been enough? And I don't know that it would be because, like I said, if you don't love yourself enough, it's hard to fathom anybody else loving you. And if I think in my mind that no one loves me, or I don't care if you love me because I don't love myself, because depression, it takes you, y'all, and it takes you down that dark hole, and you're just like, it's an abyss. It's like a black hole. It's really like a black hole. Just keeps getting darker and darker and darker, and you keep getting further from the light. And the further you get from the light, you start to have those thoughts that we never would have thought we would have had. That, you know what? My kids don't love me. They just want me to be here because what I provide for them. My family, they don't care about me. They don't love me. When a rational minded person knows that, people love me. We all love you. You know that people love you, but we say, and we get to that place where we're like, man, no one loves me. Do I love myself? And then you have to ask yourself, okay, well, but is love of myself enough? I love myself, but I'm just in such a dark place in this abyss, this black hole that I do love myself, I think, but I'm still having these thoughts. And if you love yourself, do you have those thoughts where you say, I'm better off not being here? The world is a better place without me. Is that love of self if you have those thoughts? And, that's something I don't know. I've never thought about that. But loving yourself through this journey is absolutely a must. Because I don't care how bad you think it is. I tell anybody, this world is exponentially better with each and every one of us in it. I absolutely believe that. This world is a better place with your energy, with your smile, with your laughter, with your joy, with your tears, and with your sorrow. This world is a better place. And get to that place where you say, hey, I know today was a struggle. I know I don't feel like getting up, but I have to because I love myself. And when you love yourself, that's when you'll say, hey, you know what? It get to that place where I really, really love myself. I love myself enough to pull myself up out of this abyss, to walk toward that light instead of walking into that darkness further. I love myself enough to, I want to be there for my kids. I want to be there for my family. I love myself enough to, I'm going to get up every day and I'm going to fight and I'm going to battle this disease. I'm going to battle this monster because I love myself just that much to get up and say, hey, I absolutely am worth it and I deserve it. And I'll take a moment to catch my breath and let someone else chime in.
I think I think there are so many things that people are dealing with this time of the year. Today put themselves on the back burner. And Miss Kimberly is trying to help me to get my phone to where my picture would come up. So I'm working on that. But yeah, it's a lot going on, and we don't know. I think okay, camera app. And I think it's so much going on until we've just lost our focus, and especially this time of the year with the weather, the time of change, the time has changed. The weather is cold, it's dark. I was laying up here, I've been in bed all day today, and I thought it was late, and it was only 2:30. And it's not that I'm rushing time, it's just that it's just all day, all day. When you don't have anything to do, you just, what do? You do nothing when you should actually, I should be reading, I should be doing something constructive, but your mind doesn't tell you that, so I gave into my mind today and I just laid in the bed. Of course, my grandson came over, so that was great. But we we got to start living with a purpose. And I know we say we do, but do we every day get up with ourselves in mind? I don't think we get up with ourselves in mind every day. And that's what we should do every day. Get up thinking about ourselves, speaking those words of affirmation that Ebbs used to, tell us about. Um, we've got to get back to center, I call it. So that's what I was thinking today.
And Dolores, I agree with that we kind of, sometimes we really move away from giving ourselves that extra push or that pat on our back. What I've started to do lately is, you always hear us say, we need to tell people that we love them. And, we need to say that we love, saying I love you is just so important these days. We show people we love them. We think we show them. But saying that you love a person is pretty valuable these days when a person really truly does receive it and believe it. But what I've started to do is to tell myself that I love me. I look myself in the mirror and I say, I love you. And, at first, when I first started, it seemed kind of silly because, you say, I love myself. I love who I am. But those are sometimes surface, that's on the surface. That's easy to say. Those are surface words. So, I'm really digging in deep to get a real understanding of what it means to love myself and what loving me looks like and feels like. And part of that is telling myself that I love me, because that's just another piece of reassurance that I am loving the journey that I'm on. So, especially considering the things that we go through. Not only with this season, it's just things that happen. Dolores and I were just talking about a situation that I just went through today. And I said to her that, You know, the statement everybody makes, God doesn't put more on us than he thinks that we can bear or we can deal with. But then just in that moment, I came to a realization that sometimes he does. And Dolores said something that was very powerful. And she's, Dolores, if you would share with them what you told me.
Yeah, she was standing in the gap for her goddaughter, and yeah. So when you stand in the gap for people, and we often say that the Lord won't put no more on us than we can bear. And I told her I beg to differ, because sometimes he put more on us, and I just truly feel that way. He put more on us than we can bear, so we could call on him. Because a lot of times if he only put what we could bear, we'll never have to call on him. So that's what she and I was talking about. So her standing in the gap for her friend, her goddaughter. Yeah, he does put more on us than we can bear. That's my spiel on that.
But then when you think about it though, after I thought about it, I think I was just the strongest person that I was the person that was supposed to be there at that moment. You know.
Right.
So, you know, that's value within itself, because I gave myself credit, because we don't give ourselves credit, you know?
Yeah.
Instead of me giving myself credit for being strong enough to be there at that moment, because it took a lot. You know, I kind of, I kind of tried to make what I did to be small, which to me it was, it wasn't a big thing, but then it was a big thing. So I think we do that for ourselves. Sometimes when we do, when we do something that's commendable, or when we do something that's admirable, a lot of times we kind of, I guess, don't give enough value to it.
And when we step outside the box, anytime we're doing something for someone else, it's okay to say, man, I'm glad I was there for them. Because oftentimes we don't say that. We just feel like, well, that's what I'm supposed to do. But the things that we do, we should pat ourselves on the back, especially when we go above and beyond like you did today. And if you want to elaborate more on that, you can.
Yeah, it was just a situation where it was just meant for me to be there. And, I never did once ask why me. It was just supposed to be me. So, I was just there able to provide support to her when, she was going through. And I was just able to step in and be there for her. And, that's part, when I think about it, that's just part of my growth as well. That's just part of me loving who I am. Because I am built to help people through my experiences. So I'm proud of me. I panicked, which I never would have thought I would have, but I'm proud of what I was able to do. And I was proud of being able to be there for her. And I never would have said that in the past. I never would have. But that goes with my journey. That goes with the steps that I'm taking to be a better me and to triumph through adversity. Because, in our journeys, we think we got it all figured out. And just when we think we've gotten it figured out, something happens and it changes our outlook, or it changes how we view our growth. But I think that all of this is just part of my journey.
Absolutely. And that some people believe that that God puts you in situations to meet expectations. And, you know, you could have been put in that situation today where you had to be there because, you know, someone wasn't expecting you to be there, but by that situation you were placed in, you exceeded expectation. Because, you know, somebody just be, hey, you know, I'm having a bad day. And like I always say, you never know how interactions and just how just, you know, just every day, you know, just walking by somebody, hey, you doing all right today? You know, hey, you know, you look nice today, or you know, how those words and positive energy and positive words of affirmation can affect someone. But it's, you know, and Ms. Vogel wrote, she said something about loving the journey. And I wrote that down because I want to speak about that. Because here's the thing, y'all, and people like be like, you know, if you on a journey to get better, why do you love the journey? Well, you can love the journey but hate the struggle. You know, we hate the struggle of mental health, but we can love the journey that we're on to get better. So it's absolutely, you know, it's hey, it's awesome to love the journey. You know, we can hate the struggle, we can hate the battle, but the journey that we are on to defeat the battle, to win this war, we can absolutely love that journey. And we wake up, and like Boba said, you know, that she felt that, hey, you know, I love myself, I'm enough. And you know, it's people right now who are in marriages and relationships, and you'd be surprised how many people are in relationships and marriage where they feel like, hey, you know, my mate doesn't love me, and you know, my spouse doesn't love me. And you know, a lot of people, you know, believe it or not, actually believe that their spouse or their mate just despises them. And so if you're in that situation and you have been thinking that, and then depression sets in, and then it takes control of your rational thought process, and it has you believing like, you know, if my mate, my spouse hates me or despises me, then my family, they don't give a damn about me. Then that's when it becomes harder, but more imperative for you to love yourself. Because if I don't fight for anybody else, y'all, if we don't fight for anyone else, we should at least fight for our own self. We should fight for our own sanity, for our own love, for our own validation of self. No one else's validation, but we should and we have to get to a point to where if I think the world despises me and hates me, then damn it, I will love myself enough for the world. And when we get to this point to where we say, hey, I love me enough to be on this journey, to stay on this journey, to fight this demon, to fight this battle, and to not give up. I love myself enough to want to be here tomorrow. Then we can walk ourselves down from that ledge. We can walk ourselves down from that bridge. You know, we can start having those thoughts one day after the other. I love me. Like you said, just wake up and say, hey, I love myself. I'm enough. My love is enough for me. I love myself enough to want to wake up tomorrow. And if I struggle, so be it. But I love myself enough to want to wake up and struggle. I love myself enough to want to wake up and be glad that I'm still here. Loving yourself through the journey. We can love the journey and hate the struggle. There's nothing wrong with that. Because the struggle it's a really big, like my sister said, it's a big booger bear. It's an arduous journey. It's a tough struggle. And here's the thing, you know, the battle isn't fair. You know, mental health and it doesn't fight fair. It'll have you the simplest thing, you know, someone could cut you off in traffic and you'll take that and run with it. You know, why they cut me off? Who am I? They don't think I'm nobody. You know, just your mind will just take the smallest things and just make it bigger than it is. And then that compiled and that piles on everything else you got going. And then you literally feel like, y'all, you have the weight of the world on your shoulders. You know, someone could walk by you at work and not speak to you. And you're like, damn, now they don't like me, you know, and you never thought to ask yourself, well, maybe they were having a bad day. Maybe they are in the same place and space that I am. Maybe they're in the same mind frame. We never think that because the disease has us, like I said, we're not thinking rationally. It has us thinking, hey, that person didn't speak to me. Well, they don't like me either, too. Now they don't like her. Somebody else don't even know nothing about me. Instead of saying, well, maybe they're having a bad day. Let me go up to them and say, hey, you okay? You know, mental health and mental illness it sometimes makes us selfish of other people's struggle because we're focused on ours and we don't realize that other people are going through just like we are. And but we get to the point that we're like, man, the world hates me and everything is going wrong. To we don't think it's possible that, you know what, other people are struggling and dealing with the same thing that I am. So maybe I should think outside of my box. And that person just walked by me and didn't smile. Well, why didn't they smile? Maybe they don't hate me. Maybe they're not being mean toward me. Maybe if I walk over there and say, hey, are you okay? Maybe that interaction will be what the both of us needed. And maybe that interaction is what will brighten up our day and start our day on the path to get better each and every hour. And by the end of the day, we're sitting there with a smile on our face when we woke up with a frown. Understand? Anybody got want to add in? Oh, no. Hey, Raylene. What's her name? Raylene? She spoke, so I just want to make sure I spoke back. Speak back. Is that her name, y'all? Raylene?
Miss Coleman, Reverend Coleman.
Okay, Reverend. Okay. Hey, Miss Coleman, how you doing? Okay.
I am terrific. How are you?
I'm doing fine. I saw you in the chat. I just want to make sure I acknowledge you.
Yeah.
I missed y'all last week for some reason.
I forgot to add. I forgot
Don't
to
say anything. I just said I missed y'all. That's all.
Okay, I'll see.
But I want my sweet potatoes.
Yes, ma'am. I'm gonna have them tomorrow. You all, it's I know for years, people used to say I look so mean, I look so mean. So and when Akili talks about living out loud and on purpose, I make it a point to smile more now. And I make that a conscious effort because for so many years I didn't smile, and I find myself looking in the mirror and I'm like, girl, you got to smile. And so it's so important to, to feed back into ourselves. And we have, I think sometimes we lose our way because we're so focused on being the mom, the dad, the cooker, the cake maker, being everything to everybody. And we're the last people to we get our children a bath, get them fed, then we take a bath. We get our children up, we get them fed, we get them off to school, then we'll eat. We're always last, but we've got to start putting ourselves first on some level. And so every morning we should get up and, like I try to do, is spend some time with myself before I get up and say anything to Tony, because I want that day to be started on the right foot. Because so many days that I got out of bed and didn't think about nothing. And if I went in there and he was looking wrong, it was a, you know. So I'm living my life on purpose, with a purpose. Yeah.
And and it's like you said, being, like I remember once I was going through, some a dark time, and I had this lady, walk up to me, and people like me, they always tell me, why don't you smile? You never smile. And I was like, but this one particular time, this sister walks up to me and she was like, hey, why don't you ever smile? I've seen you for 2 days in a row and you hadn't been smiling. And before I could even, think about anything, it just blurted out. I said, hey, it hurts to smile. And she was like, huh? I said, like, what does it mean? I ain't never heard it. And I just think about, I tell her, I said, you know what? The fact that you don't know what that means, I'm glad, because that means you don't know what it means. And there's a lot of people out there, y'all, who, it hurts to smile for them. As crazy as that may seem and sound, it's people out there right now. It may be people at the sound of our voices who can relate to that. I want to smile, but it hurts to smile. I want to be happy, but I don't know how to be happy. I want to love, but am I capable of loving? And if I'm not capable of loving, am I capable of being loved? And like I said, that's where that self-doubt comes in, and that's where it seeps in. And that self-doubt can start as a grain of sand, and before you know it, you have a desert. And it started with one grain of sand, one, self-doubt. turns into self-loathing, that turns into self-hate. And before you know it, you're waking up every day and you're walking through life and you're miserable, and like I want for everyone to be happy out loud and on purpose. Life is a beautiful journey, y'all. Even with its struggles, it's a beautiful journey and it's worth the struggle. Life is absolutely worth the struggle. It is worth the battle. It is worth the fight. It is worth the war to be in it. It absolutely is because we have one existence and we have to make the best of it. It's not going to be perfect. It's not always going to be perfect. It's going to be rainy, stormy, but it's still a beautiful experience. And we should get to the point to where we're like, damn, the world is falling around me. But even in the midst of the world falling, if the mountains fall, look at those mountains. Look at the ripples they make in the water. The ripples are beautiful. I always tell people there's beauty all around us. Sometimes it gets harder to see, but that's when we got to focus. And when we're going through our struggles, sometimes that beauty is us. That beauty lies within us, but we have to focus a little. It's there, but we have to focus a little harder to see that beauty, especially that inner beauty. We have to work a little harder and focus a little harder to see that, hey, I love myself through the journey. And the journey is ongoing, the fight is ongoing, the battle is ongoing, but I'm worth it. And I love myself. And I want to be here for those people. And like, Boga said, she was standing in the gap. If I'm strong enough to hold you up, I'm strong enough to hold myself up. That's why I say we got strength that we don't know. We have strength that resides in us when we're at our weakest. We're strong enough to move mountains. And by today, you stand in the gap. You don't know what mountain you may have moved for someone else. If you didn't move a mountain, you lightened a burden, you lifted someone's load. And that's an awesome accomplishment in of itself. Anybody want to add anything? Y'all gonna have me hoarse.
I want us, before we get off the line tonight, I want each one of us, and I know we have so many that don't speak, but for tonight, coming up on the holidays, I know there are so many things that we could be thankful for, but I want all of us to tell one another what we're thankful for. Doesn't have to be a long list. The ones that never talk, just one thing that you're thankful for. And then the three of us, me, Boga, and Keely, we'll be last. And I saw Epps just come in. So one thing that you're thankful for.
And if you don't want to turn your microphone on or your camera, hey, put it in the chat. And if you don't want to put it in the chat, well, people on here text somebody and say, well, look, I'm no wildflower. I'm no flower on the wall, but this is what I'm thankful for. Because even the people who don't speak, who never show their face, by them showing up here every night, I like to think that they are getting something from this and they're being helped. No, I absolutely believe that it's something that is being said for people to keep showing up and in your own time, in your own way, in your own space. When you get to the point where you feel comfortable enough to talk and to speak and to share your story, then you will. Yeah. I want to make sure everyone knows that we're not trying to push anybody out of the darkness. You stay in the darkness for as long as you want to. When you're comfortable, that's when you're comfortable enough to join us and show your face. And you don't want to show your face, just speak. Because we had people who were wildflowers for a long time, and now they're beautiful flowers that bloom.
Yeah. And that's so true, Akili, because when every time I see Marcus and Kimberly, I mean, whenever I see the normal Epps, when I see them, I'm like, okay, they back. It lifts me up. So thank you for saying that. I didn't mean to put anybody on out there that don't want to be out there. You could text it or however you want to talk about being thankful.
I have so many things, this is prevalent, so many things to be thankful and grateful for, even with the losses of friends who have transitioned recently, family. But I still feel the love. of so many family and friends, and especially new friends. So I guess I'm just consumed with gratitude. There's grief, and yet there's gratitude. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Coleman. And I absolutely agree with you. That's an awesome grief for gratitude. I'm gonna write that down. I like that. There's grief, but there's gratitude. And here's the thing, they can coincide.
Yes, they can.
You can have grief and have gratitude. You know, you can have gratitude, just like you have gratitude and have grief. Those two can exist in the same place. I like that. I absolutely like that. And let me see, who else said, somebody said something in the chat. Eb says she's thankful for second chances, the work that she's done, and not giving up on myself. And she said, "Hey, sorry I was late. That's all right. I'm glad you're here." You know what? That's great. Second chances and not giving up on yourself. And that's exactly what I mean by, we love ourselves enough to fight, get down and roll those sleeves up, and through that fight, we experienced second chances because we didn't give up, because we loved ourselves enough to say, I'm going to fight. I'm not going to give up. And then when we experience those second chances, we can, oh, you know what? I'm glad I fought. I'm glad I didn't give up. I'm glad I stayed in there. And then Kimberly says, I'm not in a position to open my audio, but I'm thankful for this platform. There have been times when my vibrations were low, and this platform gives me a positive boost. Thank you all. And that's what we want to do. Like I said, if you pick up anything that, can lighten your load, make you sleep better once you get off this call, or it gives you the knowledge and the knowing that, you know what, I'm going to be okay. I wasn't sure, but I'm going to be okay. For 1 week, I'm going to be okay. And then the next Monday comes, you'll fade. For one more week, I'm going to be okay again. Anybody else?
Yeah.
Okay, Dolores. Is anybody else?
Yeah. Anybody else?
Okay, Dolores, you go. Then I want Boga to go.
I'm thankful that to be in a position where I can talk about the things that I've gone through and that I haven't been able to talk about years and years ago. So I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful that others can see the growth in me when I didn't see the growth, that people can see that I'm not that little girl anymore, that shy girl that wouldn't speak up for herself. So I'm thankful for so many things. And then I want to say this personally. I'm thankful for Miss Coleman, because before we even laid eyes on each other, it's like it was just a connection there. And if I go through something or something is going on, I make sure I call and we talk about it. So I'm thankful for that relationship. And then Bogle seemed like sometimes I could feel when things are not right with her. So I'm just thankful for everything. And just seeing y'all name every Monday night, I'm thankful for that. And Akili, I'm thankful that you hold it down for the guys as well.
Thank you, Ed. Ed also said she's thankful for spaces like this. So thank you, Ed. Okay, Boga, let go, baby.
Well, first coming from Marcus, he says that he is thankful for grace and a second chance. And that's very profound coming from him.
Yeah.
For me, I'm thankful for these relationships, this family that we have built on this platform, because I kind of look at you guys as family, for those that are related to me and for those that are not related to me. I'm also thankful for the fact that I'm not afraid to love, be loved, if that makes sense. Because so many times when you go through certain things, you're afraid to love someone again, and you're afraid to be loved. I know you hear people all the time say, "Oh, well, I don't know about loving somebody," but it's even deeper than that for some, because not only, you know, a lot of times we'll love quicker than we allow ourselves to be loved. So I'm thankful for the fact that I'm okay with being loved just as hard as I love.
Okay, that's a good one right there, and I absolutely get there. Yeah, sometimes, yeah, that's. And Marcus, thank you, brother. And y'all, Marcus is a good brother. Marcus is such a good brother. In the time that I've known Marcus, we work together. Marcus, he's such a down to earth guy. I never see Marcus with anything other than positive energy, warm words, and warm greetings. So Marcus, I wanted to let you know, brother, I love you, brother, first off, and I absolutely appreciate you, everything you've done and the person you are. I always say we can be a lot of things in the world, but let's be a good person. And Marcus is the embodiment of that. He is a good brother. He is an absolute good brother. He is an awesome dude. I just want to make sure I want him to know that I'll tell everybody that. Okay, and before I go, let's see. Kimberly said, what about a meet and greet? Nice dinner, great conversation. Hey, I'm open to it. Yeah, I'm open to it. And that's something that we can think about in the future. And now for me, what I'm thankful for, I'm thankful for so much, but I'm thankful for my capacity. And what I mean by that, my capacity to love, my capacity to hurt, my capacity to feel, to give, to live. I'm thankful for my capacity to understand that everyone's struggle is not my struggle. My struggle is not everyone's struggle. I'm thankful for the capacity that I have to have sympathy and empathy for people who are not in the place that I am, who may be worse off than I am, who are struggling mightily more so than I am. I'm also thankful for my capacity to want to make things better for people who are struggling. Because if I can lighten a burden or lighten a load, it's a must. I don't think that I should try it. It's imperative that if I can lighten your load, if I can increase your positive energy and increase the positive vibes you have about yourself, if you come in contact with me, I absolutely believe that I must. So I'm thankful for my capacity.
Yeah. Well, we're not gonna hold everybody just to be holding everybody. And Marcus, I do thank you as well, because I did hear your voice one time. So I am thankful for that. You show up, and I think that's the support we need for everyone to continue to show up, even though, we may not have heard your voice, but to see your names, each one of your names show up every Monday night, I think that give us that push to keep going for the next week. So I want to thank you all for all that you do to help support us to continue to not only to assist through these conversations, but to help us as well, because it helps us. Because I was telling Boga tonight, I said, "Oh, sure they want them all gone," but you find that inner strength to say, "No, I got to show up, even when I don't want to show up. I got to show up." So I appreciate you all showing up every Monday night. So I'm not gonna say anything else. I love you all, and Friday is my birthday, 59 years old. All right, Keely.
Well, happy early birthday, early born day.
Read
Don't go
those.
out, don't go out celebrating too bad and come up Monday with a hip out of place. So or maybe I might need to tell Tony that, so don't do, you're 59 now, you're not 39. So let's keep that in mind when you're out there celebrating.
I think we had some comments.
You said what now?
We had some comments.
Let's see. Okay, let's see. What did they say? Oh, they wishing you happy birthday. Kimberly said, Ms. Coleman said, great session, grateful for this forum. Thank you. Kimberly said, have a great rest of your evening. Enjoy the rest of your week. Stay safe, show up and show out, most definitely. Ms. Coleman said, happy birthday. Kimberly said, happy early birthday. Ms. Coleman said, age ain't nothing but a number. That's what they say.
That's what they say.
We're gonna see if she put it that theory to test. So we're gonna see if she put that theory to test come Friday. She'll be in the bed at 7 o'clock, y'all.
That's right.
Yeah, but okay. I want to, like she said, we want to hold you to behold you. But I want to thank everybody for tuning in. I hope something was said or shared that helps you on this journey. I hope something was said that opens your eyes to the possibility that you can love yourself. Not only can you, but it's imperative and it is an absolute must that you love yourself through this journey. Because like I said, and we can hate the struggle, but love the journey because the journey is getting to a better place. And so I want to thank you all for your time, energy, and effort tonight. I know sometimes, we don't feel like my sister said, you don't feel like logging on, but sometimes, we need that food. We need that boost, and we get that boost here. And so, y'all, I wish you all more happy days than bad. I wish you more smiles than frown. I wish when you hold your head, never hold it to the ground. I wish you all the capacity to know that you matter. I wish you all the capacity to know that you are loved and that you will forever be loved. Because sometimes this life and this journey, it gets hard to feel that. And so if you don't hear it anytime during the week, I love you. I send you all love and light. I send you love so you will never feel all alone. And I send each and every one of you light so you will find your way out of those dark places. Thank you all. Ed said, happy early birthday. I got you. Thank you all for tuning in. Love you all. Have a great, productive, and safe week. The holidays are upon us. A lot of crazy is going to be out. Y'all ladies, watch yourselves while y'all out here, okay? I want our queens to be safe. So whatever, be aware of your surroundings. Facebook going to be there, Twitter, TikTok. Put those phones down and be aware of your surroundings. Travel in groups if you can. Because it's dangerous out here. Don't be an easy target, queens. That's all. Thank you all.
Well, thank you, Akili, and I look forward to seeing you all again on Monday. If I have a neck collar on, y'all know it didn't go too well for me. But I appreciate you all. You all have a great night. Stay safe and much love.
Good night.